Alright, look, we'll just wing it. We'll just wing it. There's a lot of noise going on. It's a terrible time to film a video on this subject matter with all that distraction out there. But if I don't do it now, I'll run out of time. So some notes on dissociation that are kind of interesting for me. Okay, the types of dissociation as a catch-up that I'm experiencing. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I do have derealization, depersonalization sometimes, but the one I'm talking about is identity disturbance. Maybe also perceptual disturbances, but I don't know if that counts as derealization, depersonalization. I've been told to call what I experience dissociation, so that's the word we're going for, even though a lot of things don't quite fit. I do have a mouth ulcer on my tongue, which makes it hard to talk, which I didn't think about. Anyway, so dissociation, having a bit of a flare-up. It's lasting longer than normal. I last night watched episode 7. I'm going to post this after I finish the series, though, because I don't need anyone ruining anything for me. Today is the 27th of May, 2026. Haven't watched tonight. I believe last night's was called Course Correction. There's some... I mean, you know, the first episode, I think from memory there wasn't anything too triggering, but I think it's just at this point the music's probably enough, because I've watched so much Dexter too many times. And then, like, you know, it sort of drops off after that, and it, you know, I assume my brain sort of settles itself and then shouldn't be an issue. But last night's episode had a few more relevant themes. He does his spoilers, he does his speech about, you know, his dark passenger speech, which is kind of like an echo of the one when he was in that Drugs Anonymous, whatever, you know, I forget what things are called. Similar to that. Rather than talk about the murder methods of the person he's pretending to be. And it has to do a lot with the person that you are in public versus what's going on behind all that. And yeah, so some relatable shit there. And then we also see the mask drop, which is fun. There's been a few of those moments. And it was a particularly good scene later on. So, yeah. I don't know if that's what's going on. You know, was it more than some of the other episodes? Probably. So yeah, last night, woke up about 3:30, couldn't get back to sleep for about an hour, until, like, I guess I slipped into the other part of me kind of mindset, and then usually that would make it go away. These days I don't have as full-on problems as I used to when I first started YouTube. OG viewers will know what I'm talking about. These days, like, it's I haven't quite grown out of it, but I'm more on top of it, and I think it's also more disappointed with the world, so it's, you know, not pushing on me as much. But yeah, you know, like, a lot of things in my mental health seem to have chilled out. Although, I have to be careful, because when I think things have chilled out is usually when shit hits the fan. Anyway, yeah, so it's a bit unusual for me to actually slip into that mindset these days. If you insist on using fucking DID terminology, which I don't have, but it's the easiest way for some of you to know what I'm talking about, is, you know, the sort of switch into another alter. That kind of thing, but I don't really experience it quite that way, and I dispute that lady who tried to, like, diagnose me with DID or possible DID. I feel like she was hammer looking for a nail, and also trying to sell me EMDR, which is just not suitable for my issues. She was useless, I think. Like, you know, maybe she helped some people, but if you want to try and diagnose me with DID, no. I don't lose my memory, I don't black out. And then she, like, you know, the methods that people, the traditional methods that you would do with dissociation also don't work for me. This is why I'm like, I've been told to call it dissociation. I don't know if that's what it really is, though, because, you know, she asked me to tell her when I was feeling spaced out or whatever. And when I did, she threw a soft toy at me and had me play catch with this fucking soft toy, and it didn't do anything. It was just like, what is this? This is the dumbest shit ever. Also, when I had that, I've only had it sort of start to come up with any urgency once in my current therapy sessions with my current psychologist, and she got me an ice pack, and the ice pack made it worse, so she took them away. Yeah, so this whole thing, like, grounding doesn't work. It should work, it doesn't. Also, things are like, as I understand it, dissociation's meant to kick in when you're stressed. When I'm stressed, no, I'm more likely to be boring, schizoid, just, do the things I need to do kind of me. Maybe like super depressed me as well. I don't, like, when I'm stressed, the dissociation fucks off for me. That's why I'm like, are we sure this is dissociation? The other explanation is like, what if I'm just chronically dissociated and then when I'm not stressed? But I don't think that other part of me is like the real me or anything. So a few things there that are just inconsistent with this whole thing of dissociation, at least as commonly accepted, which is like part of why I'm skeptical. Anyway, yeah, so since last night's episode, 3:30 a.m., slipped into that, and usually after sleeping for a bit, I would wake up and it should be gone. But no, I wake up too early, and yeah, nope, still going. And like the whole of today, it's been a bit of a struggle. Hardest struggle, taking the floof for a walk, and my brain is just like, there's so many little social interactions because he talks to everyone, goes to the vet, gets himself weighed, goes and asks for treats, and then we go and wherever he wants to go, basically, talk to people. People are like, oh, what kind of dog is it? And we have to go through that routine. And then because we were a bit later than usual, there was an extra shop that was open that he hasn't been to in a while, so he goes in there, goes to talk to all of them. And yeah, and then just random people in the street who want to pet him. And yeah, so with each social interaction, I've found it a bit harder to keep my head straight. And something interesting that happens is, like, it doesn't happen that much these days. I don't know if this even happened previously, but these days when it's starting to like really build, my eyes get a little bit unfocused and fluttery, which I'm just like, what is this bullshit? And so I'm like, maybe I'm just really tired, because that could be that too, because I was tired, and like, trying to keep my shit together is tiring when this is all flaring up. Anyway, yeah, that was happening more and more towards the end of the walk. Thankfully, no one home. So as soon as I got home, it's just like this relief that I don't have to keep my shit together as much. But still struggling with the dissociation vibes, have to get through my morning. What I ended up doing is, like, I sort of tried out with his post-walk treats and probiotics and all that. Came back in here, because my current routine is like, while he's having that, I'll put my frozen veggies in the microwave, have some Barocca, and then if no one's around, I can read my book. I got my little, but getting through it slowly, very slowly. My focus has not been great lately. And while I was in here, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get my By the Fireplace perfume. And surprisingly, the moment that I sprayed it, it's taken 9 minutes to get to this moment that I sprayed it, I actually felt much calmer. I might have some now. This will be the third time that I'm spraying it today. Especially if I'm about to watch Dexter, I should probably just get my brain, if that's gonna calm me down, great. So yeah, that helped me calm down, and then finished all that, and then crashed for a nap because it's just fucking exhausting. Yeah, then I had to see the doctor. Rheumatology results, unremarkable, which I expected, because if the follow-up is in a few months, that means nothing showed up. That's how it is. If your blood tests and poop tests show anything, they will tell you sooner. If there's nothing, you can wait. So, yeah. nothing much there. But I had to see the doctor as a bit of a follow-up, got me damn flu shot, barely even felt it, but now it's sore. Good thing I don't need the COVID one, because that one knocks me around for a couple of days, and I just don't need that at the moment. Here comes some more distraction into the hallway, so... yeah, came back from that. And I think once I came back from the doctor, I did go and buy some cat grass for the floof, and then got myself some hand wash, some nice smelling hand wash. Because washing sucks, so it might as well smell nice while you're at it. Oh my goodness, I think he's got Blippi on his bloody tablet. Keep moving, go away, leave me alone. Yeah, came home, sorted myself out. I think that might have been when I sprayed it again, because that's another outing, dealing with people. And my brain, like, even though I had the nap before lunch, before going out again, woke up from that still having this in the background of my psychology, being distracting. That's what I did after lunch, before I left for the doctor. I put this on as well, and that helped after lunch. And then, yeah, came home more by the fireplace. That was the second round. And then I've sort of done okay this afternoon. Tried to distract myself with listening to a friend's music, except my friend's music has those themes. So, but then I went and listened to her older music. So, trying to analyze the progression of her music. And yeah, it's going a direction that I like, but it's also at the moment very much this duality theme. The first one, the single Hide, was more introspective dualities, I guess. Or not, I don't know if duality is the right words for things. Like, definitely Hide, but they just released False Face. This is Wicked Envy. They just released False Face. False Face. I can't speak. And that's more an external thing, the masks that other people wear. And then the artwork, the cover artwork, are these, like, for each of them, have a split face that come together really nicely. And I'm like, the themes, oh my god, get me that smell into me. Let's not. Yeah, so listen to that music. Did the Sudoku, the online Sudoku. I kind of need to stop, but on the other hand, if we try and get the logical part of me engaged, and then once the music ran out, chuck some YouTube on, try and distract myself, and usually that would help make the dissociation go away, because I'm back in the regular version of me. But no, I'm still, like, trying not to be completely crazy, and, like, what am I gonna do if I do slip into that state of mind? Like, nothing really happens, but it is uncomfortable and can be distressing depending on how strong it is and how much I've tried not to go that way. But yeah, the interesting thing, and the point that I'm probably trying to get to, because it's so hard to keep my thoughts straight, is this stuff, the perfume, the obvious reference. There's also an Egyptian thing under there, which had some significance to me in the past, so that's probably related, even though it's not as obvious as the yin yang. But I have a feeling that past me sort of instinctively went for these appeasement kinds of things. Like, I've done it forever. Like, today's teacup was the Dalek cup, because the Daleks are so destructive. And look, the shirt, even before, like, I knew it was going to be all day, we've gone for the red one, and the song The Truth. The Truth is, like, about this shit. It's probably the only song that's, like, explicitly about this shit that goes on in my head. Yeah, but I have a feeling that past me was doing a lot of this appeasement stuff with kind of like an instinct that that's what gives the relief for me. Yeah, and, like, I guess it kind of makes sense, but as I've learned more about psychology and, like, back then, like, I did come across DID online, the fucking Rainbows Bubbles channel or whatever it was, and I'm just like, I am nothing like that. So I've avoided the whole dissociation thing, but now I've been forced to, that's what they're telling me it is. So I look into it and I'm like, okay. And then overanalyzing things, and then I have not been able to get good advice for the particular presentation of dissociation that I have. Doesn't help that they don't really ask me about what's actually going on for me. They seem a bit too timid to get into it, which is fair because, I mean, the DID expert that I saw probably wouldn't have been the healthiest person to keep seeing. Although, like, even she didn't answer my questions straight. She just wanted me to sign up for this long-term EMDR that I apparently wasn't allowed to cancel. It's just like, can't you just, like, had some very specific questions. In this situation, what should I do? And she couldn't answer it. And it seems like, I don't know, everyone's so reluctant to give me any real advice. Which might be because they don't want to be one of those psychologists who's accused of causing people to roleplay DID, which is a thing that, is thought to happen. But yeah, they don't even really want to talk about it. Or they maybe they want me to bring it up, but I'm not going to bring it up because it's one of the things that I'm just like, no. Unless I'm, like, in a particular mood. I have to be in the right mood to talk about it. Especially in a professional medical context where, it's going to end up on paperwork or whatever. Where am I going with this? Yeah, no, I don't really know what to do about it. One of the things, though, is, like I've had mixed messages from the psychologist that I'm seeing now, who I've probably talked to the most about it besides... probably talked most... Like, she doesn't know much. Probably YouTube knows more. Quite easily. But yeah, on the one hand, it's like, it's a part of you, so... like, you've got to give it something, but on the other hand, trying, like, I've got a vibe of this trying not to encourage it kind of thing, and it's very confusing to figure out what to do. So then I've gone about overanalyzing it for a while, like, how should I react when I'm going through this? But I think past me had the right instinct, is, like, small things, at least today's level of it, the small things seem to be helping, the shirt, the necklace, the smell. Oh, it's such a good smell. Like that real fireplace thing. That, like, everything is burning, but in a classy way. Yeah, no, I think Past Me was onto something. The problem with Past Me, though, is trying to find too much... Although, like, it was also a stronger feeling back then, so I can see why I got involved in some things that, like, now I'm just like, I would not take those kinds of risks. Like, things could have gone really badly. And it's kind of lucky that it didn't get to that point. And it was, yeah, also things that happened were quite disappointing to that part of me, and I think that's when it, like, left me for, like, 2 to 3 years. I don't even remember, and I was super depressed, and, yeah, anyway, what am I don't know if I had more to say. I'm just sort of, like, taking a note of, like, if this stuff is happening, maybe I should just do the small, like, perfumes and stuff, visual things, and, like, this is, I'm pretty sure the reason that I do any goth stuff at all, and probably the reason I got into metal and scream and all that, is because of the dissociation stuff. Like, what reason do I have otherwise? I don't know. What do I like? Most of the stuff that I seem drawn to is related to that other part of me. But for some reason, like, in the current conscious state that I usually am in, I, like, disown it. So it's like I should be able to say that I am interested in these things, but for some reason I can't. Like, I kind of can, but I don't mentally take ownership of it. I don't know if this is, like, some kind of schizoid thing where, my conscious experience is to not have much emotional range. So then, like, the things, like, that's the sort of the shell, and then behind the shell there's the real emotions, perhaps trying to break through in some way, And maybe that's how my mind is split, not in the normal, like, way that they're telling me that it's supposed to be split. I don't know. It's because, like, they don't know what to do with me. They don't know what to do with schizoid generally, and I can't find information on the way that I experience dissociation, which it doesn't help that the internet is full of, you know, the sort of TikTokification of DID and all that kind of. And then, you know, structural dissociation still pisses me off. I mean, maybe one day it'll turn out to be valid, but it doesn't account for depersonalization, derealization, which it really should. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. No, what did I just say? Something about being emotionally stunted. That's another thing that came up in the episode last night. Because, spoilers again, ending up in that lecture about criminal psychology, and then the lady is talking about psychopaths not being capable of love and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, Dexter saying to his kid, like, he might not experience love, but he feels about the kid a different way to anyone else. And, like, that's some relatable stuff, because I have stunted emotions quite clearly. I don't know if I experience love. If I do, it's, like, maybe hope. I do still wear the hope necklace, but it's mainly in the morning when I'm walking Triton, and lately I've been taking it off when I need naps. And then I've sort of started to let myself not wear it constantly because I need to heal. It's hard to move on because I still consider Hope my soul dog, whereas Triton is more of my life support dog. Different roles, different feelings, and so, you know, I actually have a form at the moment related to him, and it's asking me, you know, how do I feel about my dog? And some of the options are like, I love my dog, I like my dog, I don't like my dog. And it's like, if I just say that I like him, is that going to go down the wrong way? Like, I don't know if I experience love, so, and I'm too honest. That's where I differ from Dexter, is I'm too honest. So I can't pretend that I love if I don't. The closest I got to that is when I was, you know, in relationships, I was dissociating in a different way. Like the if you remember, if you were around back then, I think I described it as a third split in my mind, and that was a weird time. Yeah, no, I had to dissociate to be in relationships like that with the actual humans. And, but interestingly, when the part of me that gives a shit about this stuff fucked off, I wasn't able to do that anymore, and so that's why I completely stopped being in any relationships at all, because I couldn't do it. It's just interesting that it's linked to that somehow. But since I started getting the dissociation again, I still don't feel like that third version of me is just gone. It's not a thing anymore, as far as I'm aware. Maybe somewhere in my subconscious, but not anywhere useful. Is that everything that I had on my mind? Was there anything else in that episode that was relevant? That was relevant that I would share? Oh no. I think that's probably it, and I need to get on to watching this because I need to finish it up so that I can get to bed earlier, because there's sort of the wind down afterwards, and then there's the whole putting Triton to bed, and then there's doing my exercises and all that, and then hopefully I'll sleep better tonight. I didn't get to nap very long today because I had to go out, so I'm very tired. I had a migraine yesterday as well, which didn't help. I did try the new medication. Did it help? It's hard to know because it didn't help fast enough. But maybe that was a problem of me not taking it on time. But it didn't seem to mess me up as bad as the other migraine meds, so maybe I'll try and get onto it faster next time. Yeah, anyway, so what was the main point of this video? I don't know. Maybe I should do the small things that help deal with those feelings and weird mental things that I've been told to call dissociation, even though I'm a bit like, yeah, but I mean, is there a better word? Probably not. but maybe like, in the way that we have depersonalization, derealization, identity disturbance, maybe there's like a different one that like subcategory, or maybe it's a subcategory of identity disturbance, or maybe it's something, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, if you made it through all my attempting to focus, oh shit, I gotta watch Dexter because it's starting to like pick up again, even though I sprayed this. It's like, nah, hurry up, we've got to watch. And I think that's probably also why I watch this stuff, because that part of me is just like, feed me, kind of. This is so fucked up. Oh, I will talk about also this series later when I'm able to focus again, because it's stressful to watch in a way that I don't remember the older series, the original series. I don't remember it being this stressful, and yet I keep watching. And I don't think it's just Dissociation that I keep watching, because like it's just walking that line of unbearable and entertaining. Oh my god. And I'll tell you the story about high school English. Okay. Okay.